Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigvald here and welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to talk about the Solarade reward system, everybody's favorite system that never lets you down and always gives you good stuff. Only doesn't. So, first of all, I want to make some mathematic statements over here. As you know, I have two accounts. So, first of all, on the main account, I have completed in total 22 Solarades that had a chance to drop a legendary character at the end. 22 heroics, not even counting the normal difficulty, because there we have only a 3% chance to get a legendary. I'm not even counting that. So 22 heroics I have completed, and this is yet again without adding Dawn of Apocalypse or Rise of Krypton, because those don't have the featured legendary chance. So 22 times I had the chance to drop a legendary in a heroic. Do you know how many drops I got on the main account? 2 drops. 1 Batman Who Laughs and 1 Deathstroke. And both of the drops were after I had already unlocked the characters and were not enough to even get them to 4 stars. Now, as far as the artifacts go, and for this one I'm going to also include Dawn of Apocalypse and Rise of Krypton, because the artifact drop chances are the same. As you know, when you complete the tier you're going to get a random artifact drop chance. In 99% of the scenarios it's going to be an Azure artifact. So 34 times I have triggered this, no, not 34 times I have triggered it, I have completed 34 heroics, and I'm not even counting normals again, and in this one it's kind of the same chance on normal. So 35 heroics, and each one of them, let's say, contains 4 chances to drop an artifact, because on tier 5 it's a guaranteed one. Do you know how many artifacts I dropped in total after all this? In terms of Solarade-specific artifacts and not Azure garbage artifacts, I have gotten somewhere between 5 and 10 drops. And keep in mind that's a very small amount. And why do I say such a wild difference, either 5 or 10, somewhere in between? Because out of all of them, every single one was a garbage artifact that I ended up shattering. The only good artifact that's, let's say, more or less on the must-have side of artifacts, even though it's not really, you can live without it, it was the Sword of Salvation that I dropped. Other notable drops, not necessarily good drops, but let's say rare drops, were Trigon Staff and the thermal gloves that I got from On Ice Solarades. Other than that, it was just forgettable garbage. Now moving on to a secondary account. On the secondary account I have totally completed 12 heroics that had the chance to drop a legendary, a featured legendary, and out of all of them I have gotten Mr. Freeze once. Worth mentioning that I've also got Enchantress once, randomly, not when finishing a Solarade, and that's extremely lucky but extremely useless at the same time, but that's worth noting. And in total, I have completed on the secondary account a total of 20 heroics, again not counting normals, and I have gotten between 2 to 5 Solarade artifacts, and absolutely none of them were good or high level. So that is the situation that I'm currently in myself. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm just tripping, maybe I'm just crazy unlucky myself and you guys are receiving amazing stuff from the Solarade rewards. But from what I've heard from you guys, the situations is the same everywhere. Everybody gets useless garbage most of the times, and it is a trash reward system overall, because I'm basically playing and grinding the whole Solarade heroic for not something that I'm guaranteed to get, but something that I have a chance to get. That's the most shitty system they could come up with. Like, at the first start I was very optimistic about the system, because it was the very first time they were kind of giving you a chance to get a good legendary for free when they introduced it with Raven in Advent of Chaos, but it just gets more and more frustrating. I have never dropped Raven. I have never dropped any free shards for Raven. Ever. So basically at the end of the heroic, when I'm grinding heroic 7 and I finish it, all my progress could be more or less for nothing. What else am I getting? Creative materials are good, but I reach a point where I don't really need those anymore, and I have built all my raids and Solarades teams. Azure artifact resources? Excuse me? Who came up with that idea? Why do I need Azure artifact resources? Azure artifacts are mainly a league raid type of thing, so maybe make the resources drop only from there. over here I just have too many of them, and while at the start it was nice to get them, right now they're just something that occupies a slot that could be filled by something more useful. And out of your Azure artifacts, since the introduction of Dark Mail cards, so that we have something that's actually better than All Blades, you could literally live without having any of them. Like, Claw of Forest is nice to have upgraded for some very, very, very specific situations, but again, there's replacements for it. And Regent Matrix also nice to have upgrade, but again, we can replace Nora Snow Globe. Right now, Azure artifacts are just not really that relevant anymore, and every single story that comes up, I just get more Azure artifact materials. Thank you, but no thank you, I don't need those. The artifact materials are a good resource that we get, the artifact materials for that specific soul raid, I mean. But they're very low. Like, look, for example, I have finished the last contract, Heroic 7, on my main accounts. I have finished it. And the problem with that is I did not get enough to upgrade my God Killer all the way to level 10. I just didn't. And the thing is, I even spent money for that story, so I had more resources than the other people have. You just don't get enough materials after completing all the 7 heroics to upgrade the free artifact all the way up to level 10. That's like pure dumpster fire garbage, if you ask me. The amount is just simply too low. What else do you get? Soul Raid artifact drops? A nice joke, bro. Like, look, some of you might get lucky. Some of you have gotten good artifacts dropped from Soul Raids, but that is very, very rare occasions. Most of you simply get garbage, just as I do. You might get a rare occasion where somebody gets Beta Club, and I'm very happy for those people. I'm not jealous of them. I'm just sad it's not a better system for everybody. And the Soul Raid's drop chance for artifacts is not there for you to get the artifacts. Let's be real. We know that. You know that. They know that. It's there to be an excuse to be like, oh, but you have a chance to get the artifacts. You don't have to pay us money. They're not only in the paid offers, they're also in the raid rewards. No, that's bullshit. They are in the raid rewards, but the chance to get them is just not something worth considering. It's just something made for them to say that they are there, and for other losers that are simping for them to say, but Sigvald, you can drop them from Soul Raid rewards. Nah, bro. You can, but it's just not gonna happen to you. Let's be real. So at the end of the day, it's somebody finishes Heroic 1, and I finish Heroic 7 in Advent of Chaos, because that happens, and the person that finishes Heroic 1 in Advent of Chaos gets lucky, they are going to get more Raven Shards than I will get for completing 7 Heroics, and that is not fair. Now that we've discussed the problems with this system, as usual we're going to try to find some solutions, because usually it's useless complaining about something without trying to come up with something that might fix it. So, how do you do that? First of all, the legendary drops. Make it so that in normal you drop 50 shards, Heroic 1 you drop 50 shards, guaranteed, and in Heroic 2 you drop 100 shards. So that you're going to have a guaranteed 3-star character unlocked for that specific Soul Raid Heroic 2. And at the same time, the amount of shards will increase as we work our way up to Heroic 7, giving 200 shards for that way. Every single time you finish Heroic 7, you're going to get those 200 shards guaranteed. And so everybody has a goal to work towards. Now, as far as the artifact drops, and this is going to be a very mild change, it's not going to improve things dramatically, but what you can do is in tier 5 very Soul Raid, instead of getting the guaranteed free artifact, you can give the guaranteed artifact for that Soul Raid, like the Dark Mail cards, for example, or the God Killer in normal difficulty. And then as we get to Heroics, you're not going to give that artifact, but give a chest that has a guaranteed Soul Raid artifact for that Soul Raid, but at the same time there's a chance to get either one of the artifacts that are in there. So that is not too giving of a system, but at the same time there's a far better chance that people are gonna get more of the artifacts for that Soul Raid and experience with it. But yeah, that was all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
This is the future.